Hello and welcome back to the Nitecap. I'm Josh Rimmer on nextsportstar.com. Joining us right now on the line, legendary broadcaster and host of Larry King Now on Aura TV, Larry King. Larry, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Anytime, Josh. Happy to be with you.
Larry, one of the things I wanted to talk to you a bit about was what happened in Newtown, Connecticut on Friday. I want to get your thoughts on yet another tragedy to happen.
There's nothing that could compare to this. This is the worst. It's unimaginable. 20 little children. It's beyond fathomable. It's ridiculous the way guns are accessed in the Americas, in the United States. It's a joke. It's a cosmic, bleak joke, and there's no need for weaponry like this. Hunting rifle, yes. I'm not even sure why handguns are necessary. How many people are attacked in their homes to defend themselves? It's a joke. It's a sad, sad day, and hope that the Dianne Feinstein bill, which he's going to introduce in January about these kind of weaponries, will pass. I think the National Rifle Association has no defense of this. There's absolutely no reason. And this Second Amendment, I know you could look two ways at it, but the hell with the Second Amendment. This is a deep, dark, terrible tragedy.
Larry, as you mentioned, this tragedy is different because this time the main victims were innocent little children. How tough has it been to cover something like this?
Well, in the past, whenever I've covered tragedies, those are the hardest. 9/11, of course, was the worst.
Yes.
I didn't have to cover this one. We're going to do some post shows on it. This week we're going to have some religious leaders on discussing it, and another panel show with psychologists. One of the problems in a 24-hour news cycle, like Friday, there were about 100 errors made by all the networks. Everybody was wrong, jumping to assumptions, hearing hearsay, informed or uninformed sources. That's when we're at our worst. We're at our best when we can take a deep breath back and then examine a situation. It's very tough to go. I would never have interviewed children. That runs again. I don't know what you learn from that, except to appeal to the macabre interest of the audience. To have one child, a 6-year-old, describing what happened to her friends has no knowledgeable interest other than to appeal to the worst in us.
That actually really upset me too, Larry, when I saw a lot of the kids that were being interviewed on TV. I mean, these are little children, and the last thing we want to do is have them relive the experience, and that's exactly what a lot of news networks were doing.
I have no idea why the parents even let them. I'd never let my child, ever. I have 2 young boys, and I would never have permitted them to talk about it at all. At all.
Now, Larry, there's been a lot of people who think that we in the media treat the killer like a celebrity and that we don't talk enough about the victims or the heroes. And that's why we see so many of these lately, and even the copycats now coming. Do you agree with that statement that we're spending too much time talking about the killer and not...
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't know that anyone's made him a hero. First of all, he's dead. He's not a martyr.
No.
The sad thing is we'll never know what went on inside that mind, and so all of it is supposition, and we make guesses, and why was the mother collecting guns, and it's beyond to me. It's beyond explaining. No, I don't think we make them. I don't think we make them heroes at all. I think they're gone, forgotten, and. Obviously, this is a mental incapacity that we can't even define or reason. You're lost for words, I think. I don't know. I don't think they're heroes.
Now, Larry, you've done a lot of shows on autism, and people still speculate that the killer had a form of autism. Is this even possible that someone who suffers from autism could even do something like this? I guess
someone who suffers from, I don't know from what, can do something like this. They say Asperger's, which is a rare kind of disease. It's one of the diseases of autism. I have a friend who has a son who has Asperger's. They're brilliant kids, by the way.
Yes.
They are brilliant, but I've never seen him show any sign of violence. And I don't know that there's any history of violence in Asperger's. If there is, I'll find out more as I talk and interview people about it. But again, I don't know what you can do about it. I don't know. Asperger's, I don't know. It's not treated medically. I don't know. You know, there's so much I don't know. That's why I'm in the business I'm in, is trying to learn. And this kind of tragedy, preventable? I don't know how it's preventable. At least you could take the guns away. The stupid statement that the gun lobby makes is that guns don't kill, people kill. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Happened with a knife.
I agree with you 100%, Larry. And as you know, Nancy Lanza owned the guns, and more speculation out there is that she would take her son out to, I guess, to learn how to fire them and shoot them and stuff. Do you find a problem with a parent having a gun, let alone 3 guns, around a kid who has some mental issues? I
saw 4 of her friends interviewed today, and they said she did that as a kind of bonding measure with her kid.
Huh.
Her kid was obviously a strange kid, and she tried to bond with him. You know, we bond with children in different ways. I take my kids to ball games, introduce them to sports. There are many bonding methods you do with children, and that was her method. Again, we can't talk to her because she's dead.
Yes.
So all of it is supposition, and you could conjecture on why would a mother have guns in the house. What was her need to have 3 guns in the house? What? That makes no sense to me. And if you were taking him shooting, why not just target practice with 1 gun? Why do you need 3 guns?
And an assault rifle, Larry.
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. There's no reason to have an assault rifle.
Yeah.
There's no reason an individual needs an assault rifle. You know, I interviewed once years ago the head of Scotland Yard. He could not conceive that people could go in and buy guns. It was beyond. It was in the realm of his disbelief. He could not conjure it up. How could you do this? How could you just allow people to buy guns? And I've interviewed many, many police officers, and their biggest fear is when you have a gun in your house. There are 30 people killed every day by guns in America, and none of them were people invading your house, robbing something that you shot. That did not happen in America today. No person robbing a house was shot by someone defending the health of the family in the house. That did not happen in America today. Most people killed by guns today were killed alcohol-related and family-related. 80% of all gun deaths are people you know, crimes of passion, anger, and alcohol.
Wow.
It's an American tragedy. We stand alone in the world in our gun deaths. We lead the world. I mean, it's not something to be proud of, is it?
Larry, what would you like to see the President of the United States, Barack Obama, do after this tragedy in regards to security and gun laws?
He made a great speech yesterday at the memorial, and I don't know why he's not more committed to it. In that doesn't have to run for re-election, doesn't have to appeal to the NRA. He could take the strongest stand imaginable. I assume he will strongly support the Feinstein proposal. I would hope it comes to that. He was so moved. I like Barack Obama. I know him, and he's been very lax in this issue. And sometimes he comes around to things late. I hope he comes around to this.
I'm with you on this. And Larry, one final question about the tragedy at Sandy Hook. Do you think homeschooling now will be more popular with parents after all this stuff's been going on?
It might. I'm not a fan of it, but I understand. To me, I like kids going out into the community and meeting their fellow kids. Can't live in fear. The L.A. police chief announced yesterday that a police officer will visit every school in L.A., private and public. Every day they will not let you know the time they're coming, as kind of a warning to people. If you go near the school, you're liable to run into a cop. And that's, it's one measure. But I want my children to go to school. And I'll buck against the odds that they won't be killed, but I'm not a fan of homeschooling. But yes, will people do it? Yes.
Larry, before we let you go, I did want to talk a little bit about sports with you.
Sure.
Is it just me, or when did the LA Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays become the New York Yankees?
Well, you know more about Toronto. The LA Dodgers just got an infusion of money. And, the Toronto Blue Jays are one of the richest teams in baseball. Their ownership has a lot of money.
Yes.
And this group that bought the Dodgers has a lot of money. The Dodgers now are $228 million payroll. It's the highest in baseball history. They've outgunned the Yankees. Their pitching staff makes $96 million.
Jeez.
They're going to be a lot expected of it. I like underdogs. I'm a Dodger fan. They're going to be favored to win the West. We can't figure out what to do. We've got three pitchers, Capuano, Harang, and Lilly, who are out of the starting rotation.
Wow.
They're out of the starting rotation. Our starting rotation is Kershaw, Greinke, Beckett, Billingsley, and the Korean guy.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be unbelievable going to games, but there's going to be high expectancy. And whether that puts an unusual pressure on a team that looks strong, and we need a backup outfielder, a backup catcher, and maybe one more infielder. That's all we need. The outfielders, they're all Golden Glovers. And they all can hit, Crawford, Ethier, and Kemp. It's going to be a very interesting season. We open with the Giants, April 1st.
Nice. Night
game. A night opener. And the Blue Jays, they've decided they're in the hunt. The Yankees look like they're having an off year. The Red Sox have got to improve. The Orioles are better. Tampa's always tough. I make the Blue Jays favorites to win the American League East.
Absolutely. Everyone's excited here in Toronto talking about...
Dickey, did they?
Sorry?
Did they make the deal with Dickey?
Yes, the deal with Dickey is done. It's not official yet, but Dickey's already tweeting about that he's looking forward to his time in Toronto.
How many years did they give him?
I think it's a 3-year deal, like around $25 million or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he deserves.
Yeah. This is going to be a great team here in Toronto and high expectations as well. And the other team I wanted to talk to you about, Larry, is the other team in Los Angeles going out and signing Josh Hamilton. Were you surprised about that signing?
Oh, that was a total shock. They gave that extra year. Texas kind of blew it, and they lose him to a division rival. Third, fourth, fifth hitters, they're the toughest third, fourth, fifth in baseball. Up to Detroit's pretty good, too. Dodgers ain't bad either. Gonzalez and Company. It's going to be an interesting year.
Oh, I've never been this excited for baseball in my life.
And by the way, I got to leave now, but Jeff, yeah. Where is hockey?
Oh, I know. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
We've got Donald Fear and Gary Pettman in a room with no food. No air conditioning. Heat. Cannot leave the room.
I agree with you.
Come out with an agreement. This is a joke.
Larry, before we let you go, let us know what's coming up on Larry King Now this week.
This week we've got panels. We've got Billy Crystal, and we've got a wonderful Christmas show coming. I don't know the night they're going to play. We taped it here at the house. My wife sings. The kids are on the show. It's a great Christmas show coming this week.
That's awesome. Larry, thank you so much for doing this. All the best to you. Have a happy holidays and a happy new year. That was Larry King joining us, broadcasting legend. Always love having Larry on the show. Interesting thoughts about Larry talking about gun control, and he's obviously against it. And I had some good points that the media was really getting a lot of stuff wrong when this tragedy happened on Friday. A lot of reports, they had the wrong killer. They said that the mother of the killer worked at the school. They said the killer was let into the school because he was recognized. I mean, we were all over the place, and it was terrible. It was terrible watching all this stuff unfold. Not only the tragedy, but also just the information was all over the place, and it was sad to see just all these networks getting it wrong. So just a real sad day all around on Friday. We're going to head to break. Joining us next is going to be Brian Dunstan. He's an anchor on Sun News, and we'll talk to him as well about the tragedy on last February in Sandy Hook. Stick around, more of Nitecap. We continue.